Hello everyone, my name is Deanna Tyler and I'm doing my project on the standpoint theory. So I'm just going to jump right in and start off with some background. The standpoint theory began with George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. I hope I said his name right. He's a German philosopher who studied the different standpoints between slave and its masters in 1807. While doing his research, he ended up coming to the conclusion that the master and slave relationship is about people's belongings and positions and the groups of the different type of people and how they receive knowledge and how they receive power and use it in their everyday life. Research continued with Karl Marx, who did his part by developing the theory and how it worked in the working force. So he did the men and what they knew, and the females and how they knew or what they knew about their job, and then how they used this in their everyday lives to understand what was going on around them. After these two scholars studied, a lady named Hances Hartstock examined the standpoint theory. She decided to take it a little bit further, and she examined the relationship between men and women directly, and how men viewed the world and how the women viewed the world based on life experiences. The finalizing steps of the standpoint theory, it came from a lady named Sandra Hardings and Patricia Collins. Is because of the basics of these two ladies and how it was just a complete theory. They were able to pass it on to a lady named Marcia Houston and Julia Wood. They are the reason that it is now incorporated within communications as a study. The focus point of the standpoint theory is the circumstances of an individual's life and how it affects that individual's understanding, and it constructs the world that they live in. It involves the understanding of the circumstances and the activities that shape their perspectives. The standpoint theory focuses mainly on women and the black men, and if you go even deeper, it focuses on not only women as a whole, but black women and white women. Those are not the only two races that the study has done, but those are the biggest parts of it. It recognizes the power between the different relationships and how their different experiences in life produce unequal social personalities for men, women, black women, and white women. The standpoint theory arises from an individual's realizations and challenges. So when a person has its cultural norms and then they realize the power, how much power other people have over them, and they decide, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. They become a subordination and they fight against the oppression. It happens every day. It happens today with people coming out as being gay or lesbian. Society tells them that's wrong and they shouldn't do it, but they're no longer living by the rules of the world. They're making their own. The standpoint theory starts off with the basics of a separation. It supports the idea that marginalized and subjugated individuals see the world through different standpoints. These are the people that have no say, quote unquote, the little people who just do what they're told with every day. They experience the world different than those who are considered the wealthy people. And the difference between these people is that the marginalized people are able to see the world from their viewpoint, but they're also able to see it from the views of the wealthy because that's where they want to be. So they try to imagine themselves there. This is the difference of the wealthy people, because the wealthy people can't do that. They can't sit back and think about what the people who they consider to be below them are doing. They don't try to feel what they feel. They feel no need to understand. The shift in power is what separates the two types of people who are able to do better and be better and who are just living in the everyday moment. A great example of this is slavery. It's actually the biggest example that's used when studying the standpoint theory, how the slaves were able to view their lives and what they were doing every day, the cooking, the cleaning, the work, but they also thought and seen and experienced, some of them, or wanted to experience the life of the white people, while the white people never gave a second thought to what the slaves were doing. They just enjoyed their life as it was and felt no need to try to understand those who they felt were below them. If you study the standpoint theory even deeper, as I stated before, it breaks down into women, not only women, but black women and white women and their feminist theories. The feminist theory was the first to be investigated by scholars as a whole. It focuses on the knowledge that arises from conditions and experiences that are common to the girls and that are common to the women. the girls that are assigned to certain activities such as dance and cheerleading and maybe softball compared to the men who are football, baseball, basketball, and how these men activities are valued more in society than the women's activities. Just thinking back to me working in the sports industry and how I worked for the WNBA and the NBA, many people don't even know that the state of Georgia has a WNBA basketball team, the Atlanta Dream, but everyone knows about the Atlanta Hawks. And both of these organizations play in the exact same place, posters everywhere, but nobody even realizes the woman and all that they're doing, which is crazy because they're winning all of their games and have championships coming. But nobody takes heed to that. But if you break it down even more into the black feminist viewpoints, the differences in something as simple as a conversation with a black woman, many cannot understand. If you put a black woman and a white woman in the same room, they can have difficulties having a conversation because of the type of dialogue that a black woman may use, and that's based off her life experience, off of her culture, off of her environment. The focus point of a black woman feminist viewpoint is the cultural resistance, the lack of knowledge and the experiences that these black women have had compared to other people. They have to live their life differently and they view their lives differently because they might not have had the same privileges as these people that surround them. They have a different angle of looking at the world from not only white women, but from black men and from the rest of the universe as well. Then when we continue to focus on the black males' history goes back to slavery once again because the white men were seen as the superior race. They had the white woman and the black woman, but they were known to be submissive, so the only real challenge the white men had to face was the black man because they were each other's equals. It was not stated, of course, but that's what they were. The white man ruled the household and the black man ruled his. As time went by and race started to fade, or racism started to fade, and black men came up in the world, they were continuously competing, trying to be the best, be better than or as good as their white counterparts that they were competing for a job, for sports, in school, for everything. The competition continues today with the two races as they're constantly being compared. If you look up statistics or if you get on Google, you can simply type in black men versus white men and you will see a non-stop of links. One of the ones I found was how nationally African American male students between the grades of kindergarten and 12th grade nearly 2 times more likely to be suspended from school than the 2,000 white students that may possibly be suspended but are not expected to. The core of the standpoint theory, it's that it examines the dominant social institutions, the hierarchies and the practices, and they result from unequal positions for groups. It changes the norms of today as well as the understanding of it, how, what, when, where, why. If you think about your everyday life, how do you think of the things you do? Why do you do the things you do? What are your norms? How are these things taught to you, and why do you believe these are the right things to do? Why would you believe that these are the wrong things to do? You have to think back to what was taught to you. Or do you really believe that this is the right or wrong thing, or is this just something that somebody told you? This is just something that somebody told you that you had to do. You have to think for yourself. So the standpoint theory really focuses on the person as a whole. Everything you go through, everything you think about, everything you have experienced is what made you who you are today. And everything you experience tomorrow is going to help you continue to grow. So standpoint theory is your life, your viewpoints, your everyday knowledge. Thank you for listening to my project, and I hope you learned something. Have a great day.